All right, friends, welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria, where we don't just report the news, we dissect it, debate, and dare I say, dine on it. I'm your host, Oluwayomi Lola, and if you're new here, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell because this is a channel where the real conversations happen and not just the headlines. You know the kind of stuff you whisper about at the office, water cooler, or over your morning tea? Yeah, that's a jam. So, what's got everyone from Lagos to London talking this Tuesday, December 30th? It's not the New Year's Eve countdowns, though those are coming fast. Nope. It's the sudden, unannounced departure of President Bola Tinubu from Nigeria and the firestorm of speculation that followed. Buckle up, because this is going to be a long, fascinating, and frankly necessary few minutes ride. Let's start with the facts, as we have them. According to a statement from his spokesman, Bayo Onuga, President Bola Tinubu, who had been spending the Christmas and New Year holidays in Lagos, departed for Europe on Sunday. Okay, that's straightforward, right? But then, the statement adds he will also embark on an official visit to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Why? To participate in the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week Summit, invited by none other than UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. This sounds legit, right? Official engagement, international summit, the stuff of statecraft. But here is where it gets spicy. The trip was described as abrupt, no grand send-off, no detailed itinerary announced beforehand, just gone. And that's when our main character enters the scene, Omoyele Sowore. Former presidential candidate, activist, and all-around turn in the side of the establishment, Sowore. He didn't just notice the abrupt departure, he called it out. On X, formerly known as Twitter, he posted a direct allegation. Let me read you the exact words because they are explosive. Nigeria's Bola Tinubu is unwell, just managing himself. Reason is abruptly flown to Europe today. At Senator Akpabio is practically dying. Why is Nigeria governed by sick people? And whereas nothing is wrong with illnesses, it is callous to use a country as health insurance for sick leaders. Wow. Let that sink in. Unwell, managing himself, practically dying, and the kicker, using a country as health insurance. This isn't just gossip, folks. It is a direct public challenge to the legitimacy and transparency of the highest offices in the land. Sowore isn't just questioning the trip, he's questioning the very fitness of a president and the Senate president to govern. Now let's break this down. First, the accusation against Akpabio. The Senate president has been notably absent from public view for weeks, sparking rumors even before Sowore's post. His office has remained silent, so Sowore is tapping into existing public anxiety. Smart move, politically, but incredibly risky. Second, the framing. Sowore isn't saying the president is sick. He's saying the president is unwell and managing himself. That's a subtle but crucial distinction. It implies the condition is known, perhaps chronic, and requires active management, which in the context of a head of state raises massive red flags about succession planning and national security. And finally, the moral outrage. Why is Nigeria governed by sick people and callous to use a country as health insurance? This speaks to a deep-seated frustration among many Nigerians. We've seen this before, leaders disappearing for medical leave, only to return months later, often without a clear explanation. The public feels kept in the dark, and Sowore is giving voice to that feeling. So how do the president respond to these explosive allegations? Well, let's look at the official position as reported. The presidency has not confirmed Sowore's allegations, but this is what they had to say. The presidency has not confirmed Sowore's allegation, not denied, not confirmed, a classic non-denial denial. They doubled down on the official narrative. The trip is connected to, in quotes, official engagement in Europe and Abu Dhabi, including participation in an international summit. That's it. No comment on health claims, no comment on Akpabio, nothing. This is textbook stonewalling. In an era of instant information on social media, silence is not golden, it's interpreted as guilt. The presidency is essentially saying, we have nothing to hide, so we won't address the specific accusations. But that's not how perception works, especially in a democracy, when the leader of a free world is accused of being too ill to govern. You don't just point to summit invites, you address the elephant in the room, or at least you should. And what about Akpabio? The article notes he has also not responded publicly. That silence is deafening. It fuels the speculation. Is he unwell? Is he avoiding the spotlight? Is there a power vacuum forming in the Senate? The lack of communication is creating a vacuum, and as we all know, nature abhors a vacuum, and so does politics. Rumor and conjecture rush in to fill the void. Let's take a look at the public reaction. The comment section is, well, it's the internet, Abi. Michael Felix says, if he dies, he's not the first person to die. So what is so special about him? Harsh, but reflects a cynical view. Taiwo Fashori asks, Sowore, why are you always happy at and spread bad news and unverified news? A fair question, but also a deflection. The core issue isn't Sowore's motive, it's a lack of official transparency. Ogunleye Farami says, I guess I swear on him is working. That's dark humor, referencing traditional beliefs. Kolawole Habib brings in religion. It says, and I quote, the Bible says, I am your Lord, bow to me and respect your elders and authorities because they are from me. A reminder that for many, authority is divinely ordained, regardless of health. But the most telling comment for me is from Michael Felix again. Thank God, though. Please make the announcement public and never try to hide it like Mr. President Buhari's own. Abiona won't fly come by midnight too. It's directly comparing this situation to Buhari years before, when the former president's prolonged absences for medical treatment were shrouded in secrecy, leading to widespread panic and conspiracy theories. The public is screaming for transparency. They are begging for an honest public announcement. They don't want to find out about their leader's health through whispers or social media posts. They want it from the source. This isn't just about Tinubu Akpabio. This is about a fundamental principle of modern governance, transparency. Sowore's comments, however inflammatory, touch on a recurring public debate, as the article notes, calls for greater transparency regarding medical trips and fitness for office. Think about it. We live in a world where CEOs of major corporations are required to disclose material information to stakeholders, where athletes must pass medical tests before competing. But our political leaders, often we are left guessing. Why? because acknowledging illness is seen as weakness, because admitting vulnerability is perceived as a threat to power. But here is the thing: true strength lies in honesty. True leadership means having the courage to say, yes, I am unwell. Here is my plan. Here is my deputy. Here is how the government will continue to function. That builds trust. That shows you're not above the system, but part of it. So where does this leave us? We have a president whose health is now a matter of public record, thanks to Sowore. We have a Senate president who is effectively invisible. We have a presidency that is refusing to engage with the substance of the allegations. And we have a public that is angry, confused, and demanding answers. Is Sowore playing a dangerous game? Absolutely. He could face legal repercussions of defamation. But he is also playing a calculated political game. By forcing this conversation into the open, it's putting pressure on the system. It's reminding everyone that the people have a right to know. Alright. If you enjoyed this deep dive, do us a favor by smashing the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss other episodes coming from this channel. Share this video with your friends, especially the ones who are still wondering what's really going on. Let's keep this conversation alive. My name remains Zolua, your meeting Lola. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.